In the year 1000, a beautiful young queen is forced to fight for her power, her family, and her future. But before she was a queen, she was a daughter.
One's life, they say, is the sum of all one's actions, but one's actions are sometimes the result of the hopes, dreams, and desires of those who came before. In that sense, the life of Our Lady with her bones in a box began before she was born. It was a chilly day for spring with a sting in its tail, winds from the north, fog rolling in off the great channel. Her mother told her of that day, of the deep shadows and glint of weaponry that hung from the bedchamber walls, of the smoky scent and warm fire that welcomed her into the world and the arms of the midwife of the noble house of Normandy. But it was her father who told her of the days to come, that something from the north was destined to come her way. North winds are an omen, he said, like the North Star, a true sign if ever there was one. But how could the winds have foretold what else was to come? A cunning enemy there at every turn, ever plotting for her to fall. The great fortune she would gain, only to lose it, gain it once more, then lose it all again. If her father had seen the game as it would play out, would he have offered warning? Or would he have told her that hers would be a hero's life, one to rival those of the great warrior kings who had come before, those fierce Vikings whose lives were the stuff of great sagas? And if her father had offered such warning, would she have listened? She was, after all, a willful girl, devoted to her father, adoring of her mother, yes, but with a mind all her own, a queen. But before she was queen, Emma of Normandy was a daughter, the eldest daughter of Richard I, Duke of Normandy, and Gunwa, his beautiful Danish wife. Her father was grandson to Rollo, Robert, one of the greatest Vikings who ever lived, and the founder of Normandy. For his own feats of bravery, Emma's father was called Richard Sanpour, Richard the Fearless. Gunwa was the essence of Nordic womanhood, from a noble Danish house, birthed in the frozen lands at the top of the world. Of all things, Gunwa desired most that her children be learned, not only her sons, but her daughters. The Duke of Normandy gave his duchess a promise. Their daughter should know all a lady of nobility should know: hawking, storytelling, singing and playing the lute and lyre, embroidery and languages, worthy pursuits for a woman of culture. Emma's tutelage began early with the art of embroidery. "My daughter," Gunwa told her, "Normans are known throughout the world for their skill on frame and scroll. The needle is life, my Emma. It will soothe your soul, clear your mind, help you work out a challenge, take you away from your cares for a little while. Crafting an image will help you leave something behind, something to tell your story. So set your story in thread. Yet never forget the underside of a tapestry also tells a story. Its knots and loops, its ups and downs, pushes and pulls, and jumble of colors. And though the underside be jumbled, the top side is clear. So capture as many colors, lovely colors, as many bright colors as you can. Red for passion, blue for loyalty, yellow hope for the future, and green for new life. But always remember, the threads of gray are as important to the tapestry as the bold colors. Gray outlines the image. Clouds of doubt and despair define what we are made of. And though the gray clouds rarely come, they will come. So always see the needle as a gift, a lifelong gift. Even in times of heavy grief, it allows time to pass. Keep weaving, Emma. You have yet to see the picture the threads will reveal. Trust the needle, my Emma, trust the needle. And there was one more thing Gunwa told the Duke. Their daughter would know the game of chess. Emma, she told her daughter. Life is like chess. It is not only strategy, it is vision. Chess teaches how to see the future, how to be 3 moves ahead of your opponent. But as in life, the mistakes are there, waiting to be made. For the laws of chess do not permit a free choice. You have to move whether you like it or not. So when you see a good move, look for a better one. That's the risky game, the game I prefer, Gunwa told her. I open the way for my queen. And though I may not move her right away, I want her free. It was not so in the ancient times, she said. No woman was on the board. When first allowed, the queen had little power. She could only move 1 square one way. As time passed, our Viking ancestors put a queen on their boards. They called it Queen's Chess, for the woman gives life to the future. So she became the power player. She protects the king, for if the king is lost, the game is over, and the queen must do this at any cost. For hell itself cannot match a woman's wrath in chess or in life. Perhaps this is why we Normans call our game Les Dames Enragées, the lady enraged. Be wise, Emma, be shrewd. Be careful, be cautious, be aware of friend and foe, for when one is outmatched, the game is over. Checkmate. Watch, my daughter. Learn from my triumphs and my losses, and one day you will win. Gunwa never stopped teaching. Emma never stopped learning. But hers was an all too brief tutelage, for heartache came early for young Emma, and she had to put away her playthings. It was a stormy night when distant bells tolled Décembre, with the low hum of last prayers, last rites, ministering nuns singing just above a whisper the haunting beauty of Gregorian chants. Her father, inconsolable, Judith, trusted handmaid to the Duchess, drew her close. Come, my child, it is time, Judith spoke softly to her young charge, as she straightened young Emma's hair and smoothed her dress. Your father needs you. Is my mother? Is she? Come, Emma. Judith led Emma by the hand to the great bedchamber of the Dukes of Normandy. Duke Richard stood by the window, silent and still. Judith led her to the bedside. Mummy, Emma whispered, I've been praying every night. I love you, Emma, came a murmur. Gunwa fought to speak as she closed her eyes, already so far away. For several moments all were silent. Then the Duchess motioned her handmaid closer. Judith, she whispered, I fear she will forget me. No, milady, I shall never let her. Gunwa opened her eyes to speak one word, Emma, and that was all. After her mother died, the years passed quickly, and her tutelage was placed in the capable hands of her father's most trusted friend, a man of letters and learning, wise beyond his years, a master of languages, Norman French, Old Norse, Anglo-Saxon, and Latin, the one man to whom the Duke of Normandy entrusted the lives of his children and made them scholars. Alwyn. Yes, life was full, even if Emma's life wasn't to be of grand importance. That place was reserved for her brother Richard, who would inherit the title Duke of Normandy. Some nights, brother and sister would steal off to the rocky beach, sit on the sands and look at the midsummer moon, reflecting on the water as they gazed across the crescent coast toward the island across the sea. How those stolen nights made Emma long for adventure and excitement, made her yearn to sail north across the choppy waters to that foggy island across the sea. Yet in all their adventures, her brother Richard was right about one thing. No matter what thrills lay in other lands, nothing could compare to Normandy, their Normandy. A land so old it boasted cryptic cave paintings and Roman ruins. A land so modern its influence spread from the Great Channel to the Mediterranean Sea. Home of ancient Celtic tribes like the Parisii, for whom the capital of France was named. land that became a dominion of power known for Norman castles and Norman knights. Normans, masters of castles, masters of battle on a board. It wasn't written down the day Emma was born. Her life wasn't to be important. It wasn't to matter, but it did. It mattered to 3 kingdoms and to the course of history, for she learned well all that was taught her, preparing her for wherever life would carry her. Chess taught her the game. Tapestry threads pulled her to her fate, for something from the north did come her way.
We invite you to share Stones and Bones with those who love history, those who love all things medieval and Viking, those who love all things royal, and especially those who love stories of strong and influential women in history. Please like and share the Stones and Bones podcast on your social media. When we return, Deborah will delve into Queen Emma's world as she gives us an odd but fascinating look at the daily life of 1,000 years ago.